is Eric Coffie?
Who is Eric Coffie?
Yeah.
It depends on what year. His form, his shapes.
Oh, I love it.
You know, I'm actually in a transition phase right now. I started off, how far back we want to take this? Let's start there. How far?
Go back as far back as you're willing to go.
Well, what's interesting, one of the things that I think people don't know a lot about me is I've always kind of excelled and been on the cusp of new things. And so I remember back in elementary school, there were kids we had the old computers with the Apple, the little Mac thing on it.
No.
And I remember back in elementary school, there were some kids that like went to computer classes twice a week. And I was like, how do these kids go to computer classes twice a week? And they're like, oh, those kids are in gifted. I was like, how do I get in gifted?
You wanted to be in there.
I wanted to be in that, whatever that was. I didn't care. I just wanted to be there because I wanted to play computer. Because we didn't have a computer at the house. So it's like my only chance to get a computer. So I signed myself up to take the test for gifted. Mom took me and I passed and I got gifted.
Of course.
And I know, what I said. I'm doing on computers. And so I would start programming computers.
Video games or just like...
Yeah. So back then you would just type in the functions and you would tell it like, for example, go to the right 2 spaces, then go up 10 spaces, go to the right.
So archaic.
Yeah.
People are probably watching is like, oh, I don't know what that means.
Right. But I mean, we would draw entire landscapes and cityscapes, telling it to go up and down spaces because we would draw, essentially they were just 2-dimensional, it wasn't 3-dimensional stuff. So we would go, so imagine if you have a sketch paper and you draw, you go up, down, that's a building shape.
Right.
And then you go in the middle and start drawing circles, right? And then you can draw a square, you can draw a rectangle as a door, and you can draw squares, and now I'm starting at a building.
Oh, wow.
And then you can draw different heights, right? And then different widths, and then all of a sudden you build
that's definitely some gifted stuff. I was not in that class.
You were not in that class?
I was in the special reading class.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I thought I was gifted.
Yeah.
And later I found out I was there because I couldn't read till like 5th grade. So.
No. We had that, and then we also had a shark in our class.
What does that mean?
Actual shark, but a nurse shark.
In the gifted class?
Gifted class.
That's what gifted people get sharks?
Yeah.
Stuff?
In elementary school, our teacher, you go in our room and we had this huge aquarium and we had a shark in the aquarium.
Crazy. Why? Was it a aquamarine gifted class or that's what you get?
I think back then they allowed kids to have more creativity. And so the teachers could do those types of things.
Bring in
things that stimulate the kids' mind.
All the activist groups.
Oh,
right now they would be like,
shark in your class?
Poor shark.
Right.
You get smooth in the shark.
He's in a tank. You get
oh my God, he's in the water.
Yeah. No, they let him fly today. They don't fly today. But I mean, that's going back to those days.
Yeah.
But
so you always excelled in things. You were ahead of the curve always.
Yeah. It showed me that. So I realized like, okay, then I could always kind of like be ahead in whatever I chose to do.
Wow. So that really wrote a storyline for you. At a young age, like, hey, I can really excel. You took that experience and
I could beat other people.
Yeah. I love that. You're like the Michael Jordan of business.
I was like, I could beat other people because I did. And then, I never left gifted because once you're in gifted, you're in gifted. Yeah. So I went from elementary, I was in gifted, then, 5th grade, 6th grade. And then we did different cool activities. Like we always did some cool stuff. Like gifted. Yeah. Gifted was super.
What else did you go?
So we used to do these competitions with other like gifted kids.
You guys stayed away from the regular kids after that.
Regular kids. Which is strange.
What the heck?
Some of the classes like general, like some of your math and stuff, you want regular kids. But for the most part, most of our classes were the gifted.
It's all the gifted.
Yeah, but I remember we used to do these competitions where we would build like the bridges. And then I'm building now out of balsa wood, and we built like this bridge that was like 10 ounces to see how much weight it could hold. So 200, 300 pounds, but this thing weighs like a feather with the wood. And so your structure couldn't be more than ounces.
Right.
And then we would go to a competition, and then they would put weight plates on your structure to break it.
Wow. So this is for like design and architecture.
Yes.
To understand like it doesn't.
Yeah.
If it's set up correctly, it works.
Yeah. So we would literally architect out these structures And I remember building them in my room as a kid that would hold hundreds of pounds, and they'd weigh. Yeah, my mom had to take me to the special stores. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the store now. But we used to go to the store and buy this balsa wood, and we'd buy pens and special glue. Yeah. And then I would design these structures on paper, and then I would assemble them and then build it. And then we would take it and compete at competitions.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I do, but four of us.
Yeah.
They're much older than me.
Were you gonna hang out with them because they weren't gifted, or because they're
no, because my sister's like my aunt. They were like my aunts and uncles.
Oh wow.
My sister's 17 years older.
You're the youngest.
17 years, and my brother's 15, and my other brother's 13 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you were the baby.
Yeah. I was, but I mean, I didn't know nothing about them.
Right.
They were like aunts and uncles.
Yeah. That's different dynamic.
When I'm 5, my sister's 22 years old.
Doing her kind of starting her own life.
Yeah, I mean,
that's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, my sister already left, came back. Yeah. My sister had a baby, so my nephew's older than me. So my sister was pregnant.
That's one of those scenarios. That's wild, bro. That's wild.
So I was the young uncle.
Wow. So you're in gifted classes, and then so you go to college?
Yeah, I went to University of Florida.
Nice. Where'd you study?
Industrial engineering. So actually, I studied. Yeah. Well, I started with dual degree computer and electrical engineering.
Okay. You stay with computers. And
then I got bored in 2 years because I was competing with a lot of foreign kids, the Indian, the Asian kids.
Oh.
But their motivation was different than mine. I was still chasing girls.
Yeah.
You know, I had my son at 18. And so for me, I wanted a balanced college life. And with a double degree, I couldn't pick any classes for 4 years. Like every class, every semester was picked out for you. In order to graduate on time with 2 degrees, and 2 engineering degrees, by the way. And that's so 2 years in, I basically wanted to drop out of engineering, and they go, look, dude, you got so much engineering in you, you could switch to industrial, which is more business-like, and you are more social people.
That was way more
yeah, because I talk and I'm social, and you know, so these guys were just straight math, science, you know, just they got to be professors and PhDs and all that stuff. It was too we weren't competing for the same.
Right.
You know?
They're competing for honor and
the family. Exactly. Yeah, man. I'm just trying to get a job.
Explain what you do now.
You know, so now fast forward, what's interesting is now I help companies, small businesses particularly, sell to the federal government. The majority of the content that I make and do is centered around construction projects. Where, again, we handle most of the administrative side, and then the companies do the actual physical work. But we manage the paperwork side. So I have my own construction company for a bunch of time. And then from there, I started consulting. I started teaching on YouTube, podcasting, interviewing people. And then I went from doing the work to consulting, but now I'm going back to doing the work. That's why I said my next phase.
You really enjoy it?
Oh, I love what I did.
Whenever I think of, when you told me what you did, I think of War Dogs with Jonah Hill and
that's the
Miles Teller.
Hey, that's your homework assignment when you work with me. Is to go watch.
Bro. Is it like that?
Yeah.
Dog eat dog, but contracts.
Yeah, like that. But I mean, those guys were.
They were running. That was sketchy. They were running guns and a different product.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like anything else is sensationalized, right?
Yeah, of course.
But we're not that far off. I mean, I know people that know that contract. I know the people that worked on that contract. Actually, I interviewed a lady in my podcast who worked in that same office where they issued that contract.
Wow.
So all of it was real stuff.
Yeah, of course. What sparked your interest to get into that sector in the first place? Government contracts and.
When the market crashed in 2007, 2008 is when I first learned about government contracting. Someone told me about it, and they said it's $1 billion industry, and I said I ain't never heard of $1 billion of nothing.
Right.
I said $1 billion.
You were like, changing time to cash in on these gifted classes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Take that smartness and put it to something where it makes money.
I love it.
And I think that's something that people listening can take from this, is because today, going back to me coaching and consulting, I spoke 2 years ago. I was at this Blacks in Technology event, and so it was all these smart minority kids that were like me, engineers, programmers, and all this stuff, and they had all these accolades. And I said, "Does anyone talk about making money in here?" everyone was bragging about their certifications. They're Google certified, Microsoft certified, Oracle certified, database programmer. I go, when are we going to talk about money?
Make some money.
And it was never in this huge conference where Microsoft was a big sponsor and all, you know, everyone was there. There was no classes on money. And I feel like that's a problem. So that's what we teach, is we teach people how to make money using the government as a vehicle.
Very practical. Like, this is how you're gonna do it. You quit your job and this is what you want to do. You can do this full time.
Absolutely. And we show examples. We show real people doing it. We show people like yourself. We show people all ages, sizes, colors doing it. There's no, outside of War Dogs, there is no, this is not seen. This is not.
No one knows about this industry. I never knew about the industry until War Dogs.
Right. And you still don't know about it because you only know about the movie, right?
Exactly.
And that's all people know. So they don't really know about it. And what I've tried to do over the last 7 years online is educate people on that this is real and it's possible and you can do it, and it doesn't matter your situation or your background.
Now, did you have any mentors while you got started in this sector?
Yes and no. I had a mentor, but he did not know how to do government contracts. He was successful in business.
Right.
I learned the government contract side. He taught me the business side.
So he would teach you the structure of business. This is how you do business.
Yeah, exactly. So he taught me tricks and hacks. Right. So for example, let's say we're getting started, right? And we were working on a contract. One of the things I teach my students is, okay, you don't have any money. No problem. So you win a contract, you can go to the supplier and get 30-day credit. What does that mean? Call the supplier up and say, hey, I want finance terms on this. Supplier credit, vendor credit, whatever the case may be. They go, okay, no problem. Well, it's in your credit application. Well, your credit application as a vendor is different than your personal credit application for a credit card.
It's different. What are they looking at then?
References.
So you could have a 500 credit score, but then
it doesn't matter. Right. So then my mentor taught me that all of us friends circle all had businesses so we could be each other's. And so we gave each other our first references.
I love that. Eric Coffie, that gifted kid, give him a contract. He's not going to let you down.
I mean, because what he said is, and this is true for a lot of things in life, again, they don't teach us this, is what is credit? Credit means that you have the ability to borrow and pay back.
Right.
That's definition. So why is it we subconsciously think that the only people that can issue credit are companies, corporations?
Right.
But you as a human can issue credit to someone.
We do it all the time.
Of course you do.
Financially, non-financially, we're always
right. So if I give you $10 and you pay me back next week, I just gave you credit.
Right. And then I showed you, oh, Mark's going to pay me back. Yeah, I'll give him $10 anytime he asks for it.
Back in 2 weeks. That's credit. That's credit.
So you're building trust. You're building reliability.
That's what it is. That's all credit is. It's your ability to be able to pay back the loan or whatever was borrowed. Right. That's it. So he taught me that, but we don't think about this, right? We think credit, banks, financial institutions. It's like, nah. Credit is just the ability, like by definition, is lending someone something and they pay you back.
And what are some of the obstacles that you faced while getting into this industry? You're a young guy. You started this out. There must have been people that have been doing this for years.
Sure.
And you get in this business. It's a cutthroat. People kind of stab each other in the back.
Yeah.
They want to win the contract.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. When I first got in, one of the obstacles was, first one, I didn't have money, right? So I didn't have any money.
Okay.
I didn't have any experience of doing any of the type of work, right? I'm more of a book guy, and so that's why I partnered with this older gentleman who was he's 2 decades my senior. He had an established business. He had an established company.
Perfect.
He had credit. He had capital. So if we won something, he can actually perform and execute.
Okay.
And so one of the challenges was first getting past that hump of not having resources and being able to do a project. So yeah, I'm smart enough to read it and fill out the paperwork, but I don't know how to actually do it and execute. So that was one of the challenges I started beginning. As we start getting bigger, meaning winning more contracts, then we quickly became the largest small business on that facility. And then, we start getting a lot of criticism and hate from people about how we were doing it.
Are there different ways that you could be sneaky and get contracts, or tricks that people do to? I mean, because I would just think, explain the process. Because all I'm thinking is the government says we need X, Y, Z. Okay, we can do it for this, but there's so much more to it.
Yeah, and that's one way to do it. Yeah, so the government has. It's funny because, and again, that's why people don't teach it. So the government has something that anyone could look up, right? It's called the contracting cone, right? Like ice cream cone, but it's for contracting. And if you look that up, you see all the ways the government can buy. And so you'll see this cone shape, and it has all these different, like they can buy like this, all these different lines are ways that they can buy. So what happens is most of us only know like one way, but there's 55 ways on this cone.
Like, what would be another way? I mean, that was that's the way.
All right, so the one way is they do something that is they will, if the contract is a certain size, they can pay for it on a credit card. They don't have to put it out for bid.
The government?
Yeah.
The government has credit cards?
The government has credit cards. Yeah, they have credit cards.
What the?
So if the government want to buy like these microphones from you, they don't have to put that out for bid. They just pull out the government credit card and swipe, and then they can buy the microphones from you.
Okay.
If it's, so that's one way.
So right away I'm thinking it really helps to build relationships with these people who are doing the buying.
That's the whole point of it.
So the idea is you don't want to have to bid. You want the guy to say, we need this.
Yeah, but even when you bid, right? So we have what's called a bid, no bid checklist, right? So it's a document that basically, if it shows you, if you have these things, your bid's likely to be one, your higher probability of winning, right? Than if you don't have these things.
Okay.
And one of them is relationships. So meaning that, are you bidding to a customer that knows you, or knows about your company, or knows anything about you? Because even though they can't help you win like directly, I've had people that you submit your documents and they say, hey, Mark, you're missing this. Hey, you didn't check this box.
Okay.
Hey, you didn't fill out this other form. They're not helping you win per se, but they're not allowing you to lose.
Right. They're advocating for you. They're on your team. Just like any relationship.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of ways they can throw people out.
Yeah.
And if I know Mark and I don't know these other guys, then I can say, hey, Mark, I'll give you a perfect example. I was negotiating with a government customer that knows me, and they can't tell me the price. Right. By the way, negotiation means this didn't go out to the public. They're only talking to my company, and we're agreeing on a price. And if we can agree on this price, they will not put this out to public bid because the matter is urgent. There's a couple of things in this
criteria,
but it's urgent, or that they're unlikely to find someone else that's going to do it for a better price. Like there's some different criteria that they check. So we're negotiating with the government, and this person says to me, hey, Eric, look, I got your price. Everything looks good. He goes, but we're kind of far off on our numbers. And he goes, obviously I can't tell you. So now my number on this job was like, I don't know, say 5,200,000. Right. And I go, okay. So she's kind of playing like charades on the phone. I can't tell you the number. I say, hey, we gotta get to a round number. So if you're at 5.2, Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, 5 million.
Exactly. Right.
That's what she wants. I'm thinking 6 million.
Again, we know we're negotiating. Everyone's negotiating up. So
it sounds kind of how sketchy can these conversations get? I mean, are the government officials ever like cut in on these deals? It's got to happen.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Right.
I do not do it.
Is this super regulated? Like they'll just get caught right away, or how?
Oh no. Well, getting regulated and getting caught are two different things, right? It's super regulated. Yes. I don't know how long it takes for them to catch you. I'm not gonna find out.
Yeah.
There's so much money to pay on this. You don't have to.
Oh, but that's the case always, but there's always people that are always looking to play.
There's so many.
They're like, listen, I'll give you 10% of the contract if you just give me all the contracts.
And man, I tell
these government officials get so rich. There's got to be.
No, not these government officials.
Okay.
Other government officials get rich.
Yeah.
These aren't the ones that.
These aren't the ones that are.
No. So everyone who's in the federal government, contracting officers, they have an oath that they sign. They actually go through and take tests and go to school. They can go to jail behind their decisions, unlike Congress.
I'm glad you said that.
But I'm saying that's different.
Yeah.
I don't do Congress people.
Yeah.
We do people who are in charge of contracts.
Okay.
So they can go to jail.
That's I would imagine they have to have that sentence for them. Otherwise, they would be doing exactly.
They probably would do that.
They
exactly. I'm sure that they figured this out after bad actors.
There is definitely.
You know what I mean? Like every time there's a new law or rule,
somebody
did something. You know. So yeah, but that's how. I mean, that's how that conversation went.
Tell me about a big contract that you won, and some catalyst in your career that really changed things a lot.
Yeah. So for me, was another $5 million contract that I won that really changed me. That's what allowed me to start doing YouTube. What's amazing about that contract was, and it's a good story, was that I've been broke several times in my life. But this one, I was like the lowest. Mm-hmm. So not only did I have no money, I was actually $200,000 in debt. Because because on a private sector contract, I got fraudulently sued, some litigation stuff, and I had to settle out of court to keep my dignity and also to not go even further. Mm-hmm. So I settled out of court for $200,000, $225,000.
Wow.
Which I didn't have. I agreed to monthly payments of $5,000 a month, which I didn't have. And then I went back to start bidding on government contracts because when I got killed in the private sector, the government always I never had a problem with them.
Right.
So I won this contract with this company for about $600,000, and then we start working on that contract. And then after that contract, they offered me another project to look at, and by the time we finished up, that project was over $5 million.
Now your profit is built in that. When you submit your bid, that's part of your profit. Yeah. So you has all the cost, all the overhead, and then you tag on your profit.
Yeah.
How much do you make of that $5 million?
About $600,000.
Wow, that's nice. And then boom, content, YouTube, filming. I love it. I love it.
That's allowed me to start making YouTube. That's why I could film for 2 years without needing money.
Wow.
I mean, I literally, and I'll tell you,
how good did that feel? That's a W.
But let me tell you what's even more amazing. That project, it was in the Panhandle, Florida. Mm-hmm. I think I only visited it 5 times in 2 years. I didn't even have to go there. I just cashed checks and signed.
Oh my gosh.
The hardest part was all the negotiation up front.
So how do you get more contracts like that? Those beefy, juicy ones, man.
Yeah, again, remember how I said this. So they gave me a $600,000 first, and then I helped them on this other one. But the $600,000 I won came because I helped them on a $25,000 project near the Space Center. Mm. So I had the relationship. So I helped the guy a few years back on this $25K deal, and he was stuck. He was in a jam. And he called me up and he said, hey man, I got this building. I don't have anybody to put this building up for me. He's like, and I'm not licensed to take possession of this building. Can you receive the building on my behalf and then have some guys put it up? And it was like, that was a piece of cake, bro. Because I was a licensed contractor that could take the building.
Okay. So
I signed the building over my name, my company name. I took possession. He had already bought the building.
Yeah.
But the company who he hired walked out on him, I guess. So he bought the building. So I was like, all right, cool. And then I had guys working up there. So I sent a couple guys to go up there to his job and stamp the building. I think we stood up in 2 days. And he was like, oh my gosh, you saved my life. And I was like, and then my friend, I think I made $13,000.
But it's about the relationships. Yeah.
But I know I didn't, but I mean, I wasn't thinking that way. I did it because the guy called me, he was in a jam.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it with a long-term plan. But then when I got into a jam, I called him up. He says, "No, Eric, I remember you helped me out at that time. I was the next project I'm calling." And that's what he did. And then he called me for the next project, and then called for the next project.
So you talked about you're in a couple $100,000 in debt. Describe kind of the process that you had to go through personally to overcome that adversity. What were you doing? What were you telling yourself? A lot of people would be in debt and be like, "I'm done for. I'm over with." But you persevered. What'd you do?
So I was in before, when I was doing really well, I was in an entrepreneurs group called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. And those were people who were also entrepreneurs and business owners that had achieved a certain level of success. And I had some people in there that essentially, they not mentored me, but, mentored me indirectly. And one of the ladies told me, she said, "Eric, the person that brought me in, very successful female. And she said to me, because Eric, you told me that you want to be a millionaire, right?" She said, "So what's $200,000? Right? And then she said to me, she goes, "If you finance that over 30 years, you can work at Burger King and pay that off." So just changing your mindset to look at it different. Just
Same facts.
Same facts. Put it in a different perspective.
Telling yourself a different story.
Right. And that was so critical to me, because it's like, he's right. $200,000. It's like, it's nothing, because before that, and so to give you the picture that maybe you didn't know, but I lost $500,000 cash. And just happened to be 200,000 below, but I had 300,000 in the bank for that. They got wiped out on top of the 200. So I have a $500,000 swing. So it wasn't just 200,000 I lost. I lost $500,000 cash, not play money, not stocks, not equity, capital. But when you talk to people like her, who says, "Well, aren't you striving for greatness anyways?"
So that's nothing compared to that.
Yeah, if you take your energy and focus on that, that's where you're going to go. Focus on going ahead. That's where you're going to go.
I love it.
And then what happened? Less than a year later, I had a $5 million contract. And, it's funny. I'll tell you this. The people who did that to me, I had a chance to speak to someone from their company. And I told them that I've got this great success story I want to tell you about. And so they're like, "Oh, really?" So then I started telling them how they screwed me over. And I go, "Yeah, but if you guys hadn't screwed me to be so far in debt, I don't know if I'd have been taking that $5 million contract. I might have been afraid, because I was so far in the hole. I had to conquer my fears to take on something bigger than I thought I could do, because that's the only way I can get out of the hole."
Wow.
So it turned out to be a great success story. And then
I love that. I love going to your, enemies or any time.
Yeah. So I thank them for that. I said, "You know what? Thank you guys for doing me that way, because otherwise I wouldn't have that story to tell."
Do you do a lot of reading?
I do.
What are some of your favorite books, or business books, or what are these books?
I read a lot of books. It just depends on what I'm studying at the time.
Yeah.
So, for example, you said, what was I dealing with? Back then, when I was going through those hardships, I read a lot of James Altucher.
Who's this?
He's a podcaster. And he writes about being successful and then losing everything, and then being rich, and so it's coming and losing everything again. And so he used to write a lot of those kind of failure stories that, so I used to read a lot of his work. He's written a couple of books. Choose to Be Rich is one of those more famous ones. So I used to read a lot of James Altucher stuff. But again, I've read all the Robert Greene series. I read Tony Robbins books. I listened to Brian Tracy. All the same stuff. But more recently, so like, depending on the season. So when I first started doing YouTube, I read books on YouTube, started podcasting, books on podcasting, started doing, learning how to sell courses, read books on that, read Russell Brunson's series, Digital Secrets, Expert Secrets. You know Russell Brunson?
I've heard of him.
Okay. Alex Hormozi.
Of course.
Yeah, well, everyone says of course, but Russell Brunson, Alex Hormozi copied Russell Brunson's stuff.
Man.
Russell Brunson was the original OG digital marketing and making offers and leads. He runs a program called ClickFunnels.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking.
Right. Now, Alex Hormozi's books, 100 offers, 100 leads and stuff, comes same as digital secrets, success secrets, expert secrets, because it's all about how to get traffic, right? And then convert your traffic. So Russell Brunson first studied Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy was some of the original marketers back in the days. And so again, I know that it's say the history because I read.
So all this knowledge circulates. It's just kind of repeated again.
He's had some most it's the new Russell Brunson.
You heard of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and now there's this new guru. I forget his name. I was following him on podcast.
Yeah, but Robert Kiyosaki, I know his stuff very well. I got his books, but I've also read Robert Kiyosaki's book with Trump, Choose to Be Rich.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's a great book too. And that's when people hated Trump. Right. But I still use Robert Kiyosaki's principles because Robert Kiyosaki, like him, love him, don't like him. Actually, I have his game Cash Flow. You ever played Cash Flow?
You're the only one.
No, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But I mean, he teaches you the cash flow quadrant, which we forget those principles. I mean, my son, so I'll give you an example. My son read Alex Ramos's book, $100 million offers, and Alex Ramos is going through and saying, hey, you got to know your CAC, right? Customer acquisition cost and all this kind of stuff, right? You just don't learn different words. And I go, you don't need to teach him about P&L statement, right?
Yeah.
That's what Robert Kiyosaki taught him for that.
Right. It's just words.
It's a cash flow. Right. It's word. I said, he goes, what? I said, Google P&L statement. He goes, oh, that's the same thing. I go, I know. It's the exact same thing.
That's what he's saying.
Right. I said, but
he's a package of
right, which is good because he's getting it across to younger people. So there's no knock on that. But I'm just saying, if you've learned this stuff, I mean, going back, I went through. So all my webinars are based on Russell Brunson. I've had ClickFunnels for years. I already set up communities. I've got community platforms that I've used. I've used all the different. So before the school, I'm Teachable. So we've done a lot of that. Yeah. So that's hardship.
Oh, that's one of the benefits of learning and constantly being a student.
Right.
Is you see some things repeat and then they look familiar.
Sure. Well, what I like about it is he's reaching a different audience. So now I was studying, now my son's studying it. And so now he's coming back to me with ideas, and now we could actually execute some of these things. Before, when I was the only one studying it, then I couldn't get my team on board to even grasp what we're saying. But yeah, I love Robert Kiyosaki. I love his principles. I still to this day operate that way. So I have real estate, and I always believe that you should be buying assets. And I see people keep making that mistake today because they keep buying liabilities, call them assets.
Right. Cars, fancy things, jewelry, watches,
all materialistic stuff. Going out to dinners, vacations, everything you can afford.
What type of real estate do you make?
So I personally have always had residential real estate. I've never gotten commercial. But I've mostly done Section 8 housing, primarily in that category, just because about what I could afford. I couldn't afford. I didn't know how to talk to investors. I didn't know how to raise capital. So I bought properties in predominantly Black neighborhoods that I could afford to buy, and then I put them on Section 8. And
that can be a really good business model.
We've done, all of my family's retired from it.
It's very good. It's still doing good.
Yeah, still very well.
I love that.
Yeah, still really well for us. So yeah, my mom to this day sells real estate. My sister has real estate, and so uncle is all my immediate family.
What's one of the things that sets you apart from your competitors, from others, that's made you so successful?
I think going back to what you said, I believe that I can learn anything. So I think that goes back to my gifted days in programming, right? So I can learn industries, sectors, markets, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ways, a lot of things that I do, I compare myself to Elon Musk, which is kind of crazy a lot of things. But I mean, if you're going to compare yourself to somebody, why not? Why not?
Who else would you compare yourself?
Right, exactly. Like you said, Michael Jordan analogy, why not? So when you see kids in sports, they're looking at someone ahead and say, I could be this, right? So I look at that with in that terms,
So you say one of the biggest things was taking initiative. You have initiation, take action. If you want to do something, you're not waiting around for somebody to do it for you or permission. And they're like, no, I need to do it.
Sure.
I think a lot of people wait around, like they're waiting for permission, but they're waiting someone to help them or save them.
Yes, permission, someone to save them, someone to, no, I see it in a lot of the students that I teach and coach is they're always, I find that my most successful students are C students, not A students. Because the A and B students, they want to know the whole roadmap. They want to know plan A to Z before they start. And no one can tell you what's going to happen when you get down to C.
The paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, the paralysis by analysis. Yeah, but they just really they want to do a SWOT analysis on an idea.
Ask Elon if he did a SWOT. No. Of course, Bezos. Maybe Bezos did. But
I don't think so. I think Bezos again. These guys. Another thing that I think happens with people is people, they don't have a long enough time horizon to expect success to happen. And so going back to all the people that you name, they didn't have immediate success.
Right. 20, 25 years.
It took a long time, right? It took a long time. And even when Amazon was profitable for like 8 years.
Right.
And they raised a lot of money.
That's part of the business strategy too, right? They went on the trend of the same.
It's not. People can't wait 7 years. You can tell somebody else to wait 7 years.
Yeah. Well, they're going to tell us 2 or 3 different businesses, it's still the same thing.
Same thing with Ubers. Same thing. So I think a lot of people, their vision, they lack vision. They lack clarity of mind, and they lack any type of vision. And they just don't have a long enough time horizons, which again, I'll credit Alex Mosi. Does a good job of saying that to people.
Share some of your routines or rituals, habits that you do. That
I walk every day. You know that?
Like, I imagine that.
I walk every day, I work mostly every day, 2 to 4 in the morning.
2 to 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I have clarity of thought then. So anybody that works with me is going to get email or messages at that time of night.
Are you staying up all night or you're waking up?
I wake up. I'll go to sleep and then I'll wake up. But it's for some reason at that time frame, my brain thinks really good. So like if I'm writing books or writing anything or stuff, I get it done.
Really?
Yeah. I do my best work at that time.
Will you stay up? You'll wake up at 2 a.m. and stay up? And
sometimes I will. No, I don't stay straight up. I usually stay 4 or 5, and then I'll go sleep again, take a nap, and then I'll wake up sunlight and go walk.
That's when we see each other. So you've already put in like 5 hours of work. Yeah, I feel bad now. I see you like doing my. I feel like I'm doing good waking up early. This guy's already worked.
It's fine to walk in peace. Probably does work for the day. So I'm already tranquil coming out the gate.
Everyone else is like, I gotta get my walk in before I go to work. And
yeah, I already accomplished something for the day.
So you wake up early, you're consistent. What else?
One of the things that I think is a really big thing is I'm very engaged with people. What does that mean? I see today a lot of people, and you see it, right? You go to restaurants, stuff, and everybody's on their phone. But I'm very engaged with people. So someone came to visit me a few weeks ago, and we're having dinner at Elizabeth's. And so there's 2 ladies. One of the ladies, they got a phone call from somebody who I do business with. And so she's like, oh my gosh, look who's calling. I'm like, oh, nice. So she sent her picture and said, oh, I'm trying to call Eric right now. And I sent her the voicemail. And I said, I'm here with you guys. That's it. Like, I'm here with you. Why would I take her call when you can't, yeah. So I think a lot of people don't have that level of respect anymore. And so they miss out on a whole lot by not being engaged. And I tell people, even, for example, I tell my followers, go to conferences and events. People go to conferences and events, they get drunk.
It's a party.
Yeah, you flew way across the country, spent hundreds of dollars on a ticket, hundreds of dollars on an airplane, hundreds of dollars on a hotel. Now it's collectively $1,000 to get drunk. Like, you didn't try to meet nobody? Like, you didn't, where they'll sit in the corner or they won't, and it's like, even some of the people that I know that work for me, after the event was over, they go back to the hotel. And I'm like, you're out of town, away from your family, loved ones, right? To try to accomplish something. You should be maximizing the full time here.
You should be setting up meetings and having lunches with people.
Having lunch and having dinner or something. Not came to the conference, go back to the hotel and do what? Sit in the room.
So that goes back to where you said you're really good at relationships.
Yeah, I engage, man. I do all that. If I go to a conference.
So you're the guy that everybody knows, like at the end of the conference, like, you know, at a conference? Yeah, no, it's here.
I can tell you something. Even at my event, I organize a morning exercise routine about a pool. Okay? So I did the morning exercise routine. I did the walk with everybody. Then I came back and then I prepped with the staff on the actual event, prepped on the mic. You know, like, took the pre-pictures, set up for the summit. Meanwhile, people are getting there doing their hair.
Is that something you could learn? Or is that like a natural, that's just a character trait? Or can people actually learn to be more? Because some people are super introverted. It's just hard for them to even go to the conference. What do you say to that person who wants to do that? I want to be more like Eric.
Well, I think that you can definitely do it. I don't think that I'm super extroverted. I think that I'm both, because I do get exhausted. So it's not like I'm not getting energy from this. I'm depleting my energy. So
you just realize strategically,
it's part of the nature of what I signed up for. You know, and I won't say strategically. I got a better one for you. Mm-hmm. And this goes back to, oh my gosh, Jim Rohn. He's one of my favorite authors. I love Jim Rohn stuff. But I mean, it's like, okay, the alternative, I could be out there fixing roofs in the sun on the top of 100-degree weather in Texas.
Yeah.
I could be out there digging holes in the ground landscape, and it's the inclement weather. There's a lot of worse things I could be doing besides sitting in a conference in the air conditioning, talking to people.
So perspective shift.
Come on.
Right away.
There's a lot of things, harder things that we could be doing than dressing up in suits, having freaking fancy dinners and teas. And, you know what I mean?
I don't those jobs. I don't those jobs. They're not fun.
I'm not carrying bricks from the truck to this other truck. I just, so you're telling me the hardest thing that I have to do is dress up.
That's like hiding strangers. How am I going to do it?
They said that the Americans made us so comfortable. You're so comfortable that you can even say, nah. I don't understand that you just don't have any perspective on this. Isn't it? I tell myself all the time. He's like that. I like, dude.
So if you catch yourself slacking, you can set yourself straight just by shifting that perspective.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying, you know, you ever cut grass in Florida weather and heat? You know, I used to do steel buildings. On the steel buildings, it's steel roof panels. Do you know those are meant to reflect the sun so the building stays cool? Well, guess who's on top of the roof getting reflecting the sun? You got to put the roof on. People don't know that. Those roofs are meant to reflect the sun.
Right.
So it keeps the building cool.
So it's like what people use to get suntan.
Yes.
And they use reflective.
But you're on a roof. You can't, listen, and certain temperatures, you can't walk with regular shoes. It melts your shoes. It's a lot.
So you wear special clothing. So you're fully clothed in winter clothes on top of the roof.
You never seen landscapers fully clothed with long sleeve shirts?
Yeah, they're outside. So it's just like.
So you're telling me that the worst thing I have to do is go have a coffee and tea and crunkets with these people.
I don't know what kind it is.
That's what I gotta do. Mark, I gotta go to dinner.
I love it.
It's the worst thing I gotta do today. Is go say hi to somebody. Tell them who I am. Listen to them talk about Issa.
I love that shit because sometimes I'm in rooms like that at conferences.
Yeah.
And I get like stuck in myself. And I love talking with people, but at the same time, I get this like aura of people are like, everyone's just there. What can they do for me? Yeah. What can I get out of this? What can I get out of this? And I get stuck in my head. And I'm just like, that will be me. Admittedly, sometimes there's just a person that's like, I'm going to leave early.
Right.
I'm going to go early.
Right.
It's just like that. I don't know what it is. It's like fear of just going up to a random person and start talking.
You know, I think that people, if you have more of a fascination with people, when we'll get out of that, that situation. It's so weird because they said that, like, we all of American, we travel like to go like try to like go live some because of the newness of the experience,
Yes.
right? But you can get that by just talking to strangers.
Oh, I love that. Dude, you're dropping all the bombs right now.
Yeah.
I love that.
Man, it's all the books, right? They're all collectively in my head. You can get all that same experience. You know what? You can actually choose to be genuinely interested in people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think that's where people fall short. You know, that's why I said I engage.
They're not interested in other people. What can this person do for me? So then they get
Helping themselves.
Yeah.
You keep making about you.
Instead of asking about that person. Because then you're learning. It's like reading a book at the same time. It's audio version.
And
People love to talk about themselves.
One of my son's favorite traits that all of my rich friends, like real rich, they said, your son is so smart. And my son doesn't know anything about any of the stuff we do. And you know what his best trait is? He doesn't talk. He just listens. Wow. And everyone says how smart he is.
And he'll ask you a question to keep them talking.
Yeah, that's no, he would just shut up because everyone likes to talk about himself. So he don't ask nothing.
You're playing the game. He's quiet. He knows. He figured it out. He's like, this is working. All right.
It's like, all right. There's another person. I'm a genius. And he's like, Dad, why do you think I'm smart? I didn't talk the whole meeting. It's like, I know that's what makes you smart. Everyone else is looking for their turn to talk, to try to seem smart. They jump in and not listening. No one is actually listening. And that's where people are struggling, is because people do want to be heard. No one's listening to them. No one's listening, right? And that's a big difference. I'm listening.
You sound really passionate about your field. What's one of the things that keeps you passionate?
I feel like we have not tapped the service of bringing a diverse group of people into the space.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I could be that bridge to bring a lot of diversity people into the space. And that's always been my goal, to do that, is to enact change in a major way for people that look like me.
That's a deeper purpose. That's bigger. That's bigger than money, because money and those things like we're talking about, that's fleeting. But when you have something, it's a mission.
Yeah.
It's the Simon Sinek's, the why, bro.
And it's the why. It is. It's, I always tell people, I'm like, you know, when I see people try to do what I do, I go, you know, they'll never beat me because I'll do it without money. Take away their money and see if they keep going.
You're the guy that's like, I do this for free.
I did some free ways to do that for free for 2 years. But I mean, I did it for free for 2 years. I mean, I don't think I made any money until year 4. I didn't have a monetization. I didn't come on YouTube with a monetization strategy. I didn't collect emails. I didn't have anything to sign up for. I just made videos. I mean, now I've done it because I realized the value in those things, right? Meaning that there is value in courses. I mean, I take courses. So there is value in learning from a mentor, right? So I mentor people, right? Like you said. So I realized later on there is value in those things. I just didn't have an infrastructure to do all that. And I was more along the mindset of building an army of people that I could work with in the future.
Okay.
And so if I just pour out all the game to give everybody all the knowledge and information, then I'll be able to look.
That takes time though. It's a process.
It's a process.
That's not a get rich quick.
No.
1 year, 2 years, right? 4 years later, just started to make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why I said today, I'm going back now into contracting. But because I've been doing this now going on, 7, 8 years, right? I've had an army of people that want to do business with me, that want to work with me. I mean, if you look up, there's a social media ranking, GovCon, and it ranks where you're at. It's good for you to do as you get bigger. So I'm number 1 in the world for procurement.
What?
The world of procurement, right?
Oh, you see it?
In the world. Yeah.
How does it explain this?
So what it does is it looks at all of your social media handles and compares you against everybody else, right? So it looks at your YouTube, your Instagram, TikTok, all these things, and it sees your social media influence. And then it looks at the words that you're like what people they have different categories: entrepreneurship, business, whatever those type of things. And then they break down to like, I don't care. How did you find out this thing that even existed, like the ranking? And from my team. So again, I have video editors and I have people.
Was that intentional? Were you like, I want to be the number one at procurement? Or was
that's all I talk about is government contracts.
Yeah.
That's procurement. I didn't even know that existed. I mean, I did not know that was a way of ranking. But I've done 300 interviews on my podcast. We're ranked top 1% in the whole world for the podcast. And then, again, on LinkedIn, I'm in like top 3%, YouTube 14%. So we're in the top percentages in a lot of different categories, but my main focus for 7 years has been talking about government contracts and how to win them. And so that's procurement. How do you win contracts? So people now, my last 2 clients that bought from me found me on ChatGPT.
on chat? That's flawed.
But how do you find me? Like, oh, ChatGPT. And I type within government contracts, your name gets up.
That's awesome.
So it's a testament to all the content.
That's powerful. Yeah. So content does work. Consistency, specification.
Yeah, we niche down.
Specialize, niche down.
Yeah, we niche down.
You've had a lot of success coming all this way, and it's been a long road for you. It's been a long road. What would you do differently? Is there anything you wish you would have done differently?
In my life, in terms of YouTube, in terms of what?
Sure. Yeah. No, with your career. Let's first.
Yeah. I had some opportunities that I turned down that were really big. And I think I would have made different decisions. So early on, when I started helping my mentor and their team, there was a company that won this contract for $100 million. And the guy asked me if I could come join their team and help them because they were going to fail it without somebody like me. And I turned it down because of loyalty to the mentor. But had I done that, I would have worked on that type of size of contract much earlier. And so I would have had the experience of working on a $100 million plus contract in my 20s.
You must have that conversation with your mentor over and over again.
He didn't know that I turned it down. They didn't call him.
But what would you have said to them? How could you have turned it down without feeling like you weren't being disloyal to?
Because it's like anything else, right? I had an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. and to go work with another company that's of this size and scale, right? And then I can lose that knowledge and information, bring it back to help you guys go bigger. That's what I would say differently now.
Because I want to make sure they're hearing this like, oh, it doesn't pay to be loyal. It doesn't pay to be loyal.
Yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't pay to be loyal. Because I was just with him and some other friends of mine just this past week in Atlanta. They had a housewarming. My buddy just bought a big house up there. And so we have been traveling together for 20 years and we're still close. And so his company today, my mentor, he does about $200 million a year. And so as he started excelling higher, he's been still back coaching me on everything that's working for him as he gets to that level. So now the next company that I'm building right now, new one I'm starting, we're going to do same numbers, 200-300 million. He's told me already what to do, what not to do. So he's like, hey, don't take these type of projects because I tried it, it didn't work. These types of projects are very good for cash flow. They're going to try to give you
saving you so much time and heart. Like you're
right. Yeah.
That's priceless to have someone it's like he's on a trail.
Yeah.
And it's wooded.
Yeah.
He's clearing the trail. All the brush. And you're just kind of walking through.
Yeah.
But you paid your dues to be on the trail with him.
Of course.
It's like,
no one else cares. Because no one else has that aspiration to build a company that size. So they don't even listen to him. Wow. So people don't even value the information he's saying.
Which is crazy because you're like, you people aren't listening. No one's listening. They're like, okay.
Most people just want money. They don't want to work.
They just want money up front.
They just want money, period. They want money without work.
So one that never happens.
I know.
I think they'll sit down and look at you and be like, wow, Eric's so chill and relaxed now.
Yeah.
They don't see you being $500,000 in the hole and they don't know any of that. They just say, I want to do what Eric does. It's easy. He's going for walks and he's relaxed and he's carefree, making millions of dollars. I don't want that. and they think so that they jump into something.
Yeah, well, I gave a speech and I said, people want to do what you do, not what you did.
Ooh.
You did it. Yeah.
Do what you're doing now.
Not what you did.
No one's willing to pay the price to do that.
No one, but most people don't. They don't. They don't want to pay the price. And it's unfortunate because what I try to tell my son is the meaning is in the journey. And every book says that. No book says the meaning is in after you get rich.
Right.
No book, no one says that. I'll tell you. You're supposed to enjoy the journey. So figure out how to enjoy the journey. Like I said, change your perspective on things. Like you said, hey, we go to a conference, people say, well, at least I'm not outside in the rain, carrying buckets of water to go fill up my tank because my car won't start. Like
next time I'm upset, I'm just gonna say that every time.
I'm in a temperature controlled building, eating freaking, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I mean, the biggest complaint you had was what time is lunch? And the lunch line was serving. That's the biggest issue. So, all of my friends we just met with this past weekend. Everybody's successful, makes a lot of money. And so, matter of fact, my guy, he was the first time that, he's had like 3 Lambos and drove like 20 years ago. And, he's a flashy one of everybody. But when he got over that car phase, I started buying real estate.
Of course.
And then he was like, dang, bro. Now his real estate investments paid for his new house that he just bought.
Oh.
That is millions of dollars. And he bought cash because it was an investment from the real estate. So again, the cars didn't do that for him.
Right.
The watch didn't do that for him.
Now you can buy the cars.
Yes, but that stuff did not do that.
So you think they'll get a little bit of success and they cash out too soon instead of
going back? I want to do that. Yeah.
Hormozy says it's delayed gratification. Just
people want to feel successful. They don't want to be successful. So showing the stuff, showing the car, they just want to feel successful. They don't actually want to be there. So again, one of the things that I say, I bought my first property. I was like 21 or so, 22. And I used to be a realtor back then. And I bought my first property. And I was in real estate. No one cared. I bought a duplex. Then I bought a BMW. And like, oh, he made it. I made it.
Wow.
What a BMW with car payments? That's making it?
Yeah.
When I bought this real estate, that's making it. No one said you made it when you bought a duplex. So we need to change that narrative. And we need to tell people, no, you made it when you bought an investment property that generates cash. I don't care if it's $100 a month, $200 a month. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Because that, now, again, we're able to pull from that and do different things.
Do you invest in anything else? Cryptos, gold?
Yeah, I have crypto. What was the other one?
Gold, we do metals.
No, I don't like that. No. I don't do stocks. I never learned stocks. But I'm actually selling a couple of my real estate properties and I'm going to put that into Bitcoin because they're letting me borrow against Bitcoin. But I'm not going to put it in Bitcoin just because I'm going to wait and grow up. I want to just take my money, the equity out, put it in Bitcoin, hold it, but then I'm going to borrow against it and buy more real estate.
Oh, wow.
I like real estate.
I love it.
I mean, look, dude, a very simple example. My mom, one of the properties that we have, I was in construction. We got this trailer that's like a container home that someone had paid for. They didn't finish it. So we have like $7,000. And we put it in my mom's, it's another property that we have. We put it in the backyard and we rent it for $600 a month. Now it's $700 a month. Dude, that thing paid itself off in 12 months. And she just spent out cash for 10 years. And guess what? For a person that's 80 years old, you get an extra $700 a month.
That's a lot of money.
It's more your Social Security.
It's more than that.
Yeah. Okay. So we got 2 of those for my mom. We got another rental house. So they're getting $4,000 or $5,000 a month. They're getting the same pay. That's people who work big jobs.
Right. And these are properties in this role.
They paid off. No debt. Oh, it's freaking out. So
So you live in the American dream, American success story.
the ones that used to exist, I don't know if that exists.
What's hard to find? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's they're I mean now some of the private equity guys are getting into real estate, making it harder. But
Is it because people don't want it to? They're not willing because the value just.
I think possible. No, I think it's possible. My most recent properties, I bought them in 2017, 2018. But I didn't buy it in Miami. I moved up further north and I bought some places. My buddy who just sold the house, he bought Jacksonville. He just move around. I was thinking not a tree. You can move. So he bought his real estate in Jacksonville. They appreciate it. I bought mine in a small town called Lewiston, Beltlays. And, like I said, I got one right now that I bought. 2017, right? Check this out. In Florida, down south. Again, probably an hour from Miami. I bought a brick house, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, paid $40,000.
What city was that?
Lewiston.
That was in Lewiston. South of Miami.
Lewiston. No, Lewiston is North Miami.
Oh, okay.
But it's a little
$40,000 house.
brick house. Brick house.
What the?
3-bedroom, 1 bath. Rented it for $800 a month. Then it went to $1,000 a month. Then $1,200 a month. Then $1,300 a month. I'm selling it right now today. I put it in the market for $175,000. First person came off with $140,000 cash. Paid $40,000. Now it's funny because I simply talk about crypto, and it's not like I've lost a lot of money in crypto too. But I mean, you lose money when you try anything as an experiment. It's fun. So, but someone said, "Oh, the view about Bitcoin is not." I said, "That's not true." Because one thing that, and Robert Kiyosaki talks about this, what I like Robert Kiyosaki. I'm always go back to a book. Real estate is the ultimate leverage.
Right.
You can buy 10 to 1, $1, you can buy $10. So for the $40,000 house, I could have bought $4,000.
Right.
So I could have only bought $4,000.
You're getting multiple returns.
Yes, I could have bought $4,000 worth of Bitcoin.
And it's actually
$40,000 worth of Bitcoin. Right. So to buy $40,000 worth of Bitcoin, you need $40,000. But on the house, I could buy it for $40,000. Now I didn't. I bought cash because I was living in Miami.
So you sold it for.
I haven't sold. I just put it on the market.
And an offer for one cash.
Yeah.
And your capital outlay was $4,000.
Technically, yes, it would have been. I mean, I bought cash, but yes, it would have been yes.
So yeah, do the math. 4,000. Someone could turn $4,000 into $140,000.
Correct. Exactly.
Plus cash flow on the interim.
Yes.
Plus all the tax deductions on the interim.
Correct.
And it could be a tax free depending on how you structure it.
Yes.
So that's I know, but so what is do the math? 10x would have been if it was sold at 40,000, so that's like a 30x, 35x in less than 10 years. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the power of
By the way, in a small town, that again, people were like overlooking it because they're like, oh, I can't do this because it's not Miami. Who cares about Miami?
Right.
I got friends here. You know where I live, right in Delaware. I got friends here that supposedly smart people that got a lot of money. They're losing money in real estate because they think they just buy an expensive property. It's going to be a good deal.
Right.
You make money when you buy, not when you sell.
It's my dad always said
it's true. So I got that. I got another property right now I'm selling, Belgrade. I actually picked up a portfolio property for about $120,000. I picked up 5 buildings back then. I picked up it was like 13 units, 17 units, something like that. I mean, they're all crap buildings. Fixed them up. It's no big deal.
Those are great investments.
Great investment. Listen, how do you think you got rich off New York? They weren't buying it in good times. They were buying when nobody wanted to be there.
They were literally crack houses.
Houses. Wealthy buying when there's stuff nobody wanted it. They get wealthy when everybody wanted it.
Those crack houses now, they're worth millions. So much cash flow that they're getting.
That's how people got rich.
So real estate,
land. We've been doing real estate for a long time.
What are you looking at now? Are you looking at
when I put this up, I want to buy Medellin, Colombia.
I'm going to ask you why I did it, but I think I already know.
Well, I think what's happening is it's not affordability for Americans becoming harder here. Yeah. So as I start spending time in these places, people are going to be asking me, why am I doing? and you can still get $600 a month rent over there. So, I want to buy some stuff over there and have before, just like anything else, right? Eventually the market catches up, and then
my wife and I were just talking about this. The concept, digital nomads, the concept, if you can make the dollar and not live in the US,
sure,
you're winning.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen to a lot of people. So I want to invest in places where, Medellin is the new Bali. It's 3 hours from here. It's a couple of flights. But this is not a new concept, Mark. One of my mentors now, he's owned a house in DR for 20 years on the ocean. He bought it. And it was just land. When he bought the land, and dig through the forest and it goes out and sees the ocean. But he's been using it, same thing. So he built the house like $700K, right? Oceanfront, like ocean. So he's used it as a vacation home. He uses it at Airbnb rentals. He uses it as a corporate retreat. He uses it to entertain clients.
Wow.
So he got 10 benefits out of this house. And after it's all said and done, he still put $70,000 a year in his pocket.
But that same house in Miami, where it costs 10 times the property taxes and all that.
I'm saying also, no one wants to come to Miami and on a vacation like that. So you send somebody to Dominican Republic on a vacation. Hey, Mark, take you and the wife and the kids to go down to my house in DR for a week. I'll take care of it. Is that gonna make us closer,
bro? That's in the first totally free coffee and whatever you're from. You see that? Yeah.
Go to Miami. No. Go to Dominican Republic. By the way, we got 6 staff.
Talk about relationship building. It's just sitting there empty. Go use it.
Whatever you want, go for it. Call my guy. Find a date on the calendar that works for you guys. Hey, what does your wife like to drink?
That's like the ultimate relationship building. That's a flex right there. That's what
she's been doing for 20 years. So that's something that we're going to do in Medellin. Is same thing. Hey, you know what, Mark? Look, I know what's going on. Take your sister and your brother, take them over to Medellin. Stay in the penthouse. Don't worry about nothing. Tell them to enjoy themselves.
And definitely a gift for him to just be able to do that and give to somebody else. Because you get blessing gifts too. You're giving things away, you feel really lost it.
These are some of the most memorable experiences that people ever had in their life because they've never been on a trip like that. They've been on these, you get to think about it. And so it's like, look, only thing you gotta do is get there. I got everything else covered. Just get there. And now you and your wife have a member together, your family, you know what I mean? Like, it's bigger than like buying a stupid Lamborghini or some car.
And it's an investment too. But it's bigger than that. You're investing in relationships with the money.
That's nice as well. So that's for me, that's what I want to do. And
so am I going to be getting a phone? Mark, take your son and your wife down.
Yeah. I think, yeah. Once so again, like I said, I want to get rid of these 2 properties, put the money in Bitcoin, because also as a foreigner, it's hard for me to buy in those countries.
Right.
So then I can use the Bitcoin as my other currency, take that equity and then buy down there.
Man, with the plan. I love to see that you're using Bitcoin in that, because I still talk to people that they'll say things like, I don't believe in Bitcoin or crypto. Crypto's a scam. But it's getting adopted. So it's nice to see there is a use case for it.
Everything. I've been in advance a long time ago. There's a couple points I didn't tell you, but when I was at University of Florida, I started the Entrepreneurs Club. They didn't have it. I was the first person to teach Wi-Fi to the governor Bush of Florida when Wi-Fi first came out. It was called 802.11a and B. Came from the military 30 years prior. You probably didn't know it's called 802.11, right? That was the name of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. 802.11a, 802.11b. Right. So, I was putting Wi-Fi in facilities, before people didn't know what it was. You couldn't buy it at stores.
Mm.
So,
I didn't know there was never not Wi-Fi.
See, there you go.
So the internet was like, it was hardwired. It was like a special thing. Like, you don't have it in your house.
No.
You go into a building and hardwire the bill hardware and that computer goes,
plug in, that's it.
So Starbucks business model, what was it to 802.11b?
Yeah.
Starbucks otherwise.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have it. Yeah. So, no. So, again, I worked as an intern, was an engineer once for a company called Nortel Networks. We did phone systems. And so, I was introducing the new, they call it telephony. That's what they called it back then. But basically, it's like all the features on your phone. And your phone could get like 3-way calling, call holding, that stuff. Before they didn't have that.
That's wild. Call forwarding.
Yeah, you didn't have those features.
That was
not standard.
People listening to this are like, what the heck? Or they're saying like, I'm talking the phone. What? I'm calling.
These were not standard features. So I remember introducing that stuff to the phone companies. But I was a little kid. I was like 19 years old, working as best, but I was smart. So, I knew computers and I knew my way around. By the way, you got a book in here, 0 to 1. You got Peter Thiel too. And Peter Thiel, after Facebook, he Palantir came out of government.
You did what?
His company Palantir.
Yeah.
The number one customer was the government. No. Peter Thiel's company, Palantir, was formed out of a military service unit of research development. And then he started a company from that, and they are the government's the biggest company.
So I ask everyone this question at the end of the episode. It's the thought experiment. So you're in a hospital, your final day is approaching, and a 10-year-old walks up to you, a complete stranger, and he says, they're waiting for you. They want to know what you have to say. It's like you're passing on information or wisdom or knowledge to the next generation. You got 30 seconds. What are you telling this kid?
It's kind of what we talked about today, which is people are waiting for permission. They're waiting. They're afraid. And so it's just, only in America are we not dealing with the reality of death. And so we have we have a long life. It's inevitable. We'll live it. We're going to live indefinitely. That's not true. So death should be a huge motivator for people that have self-doubt, that who don't want to do something that because of their insecurities, right? And I use insecurity because a lot of people frame it in different words now, right? It comes down to the same thing at the end of the day, right? It's like we use all these fancy words to say insecure. Okay? It's just insecurity. So, for me, what I would say is, I love Steve Jobs' speech, right? You can't connect the dots looking forward. You don't connect them looking backwards, right? So there's somehow trust that the dots will connect in your future. And that's the way I live. When I told you the story about me having that big loss, but then future getting a big contract.
Yeah.
So I tell people to try not to dwell so much on the immediate things that are happening to them, right? The big thing that you think is that life crushing, soul crushing thing. Because we can't tell what in the future, right, is going to turn out to be a blessing in disguise as a result of that.
At the time, we see it as the ending of the story, but we don't realize it.
Yeah, because we're drawing it out. Yeah, we're drawing out the whole story. So that would be what I would tell people. And because of that, they should try more, do more, love more, and be more part of the world. I think we've keep taking ourselves out of the world, and we should be more in the world, right? A lot of us are going home alone, eating alone, being alone, and not engaging with people. And you got the rest of your life and eternity to do that. You're not here for a short period of time. So for me, I think we should be engaging more with each other and learning more about each other and spending as much time together as we can, because that's all we got.
You say you think about death a lot. Did you ever lose someone super important to you, and that your perspective on it?
No. Well, yes, I did lose someone important. My aunt, I lost her. So when I lost my aunt, I had all the money to go see her, but I put my customers, my clients before seeing my aunt because she was down with cancer. So she was still talking and functioning, but I didn't make time to go see her. And I could have taken a private jet, wouldn't have affected my life. But I chose, I'm going to go with my family, my brothers, and everybody else. I'm going to rent a van because she was in Jacksonville. We're just going to try to love and see her. My mom, meanwhile, flew in the plane and stayed there with her the last 3 months of her life. And so as we drove up, she died. And so I never got a chance to see her. Never got a chance to, yeah. And I said, I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to put myself in a situation again. If there's someone that needs me, I want to be able to be there for them if they need me, And so I vowed to no longer put myself in a situation. And so for me, that's gave me a huge perspective on things. So that's why I said I'm engaged. I'm with people because I just, you just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next.
What's the best piece of advice anyone has ever given you?
Start big. Because, go back to my original mentor. He said, when you start, big, he said, that'll be your floor. If you start small, that'll be your floor.
So rich.
So you start big.
Yeah.
Meaning, so, a real example was I never learned how to do residential houses construction. So I don't know how to fix a residential house construction. I started doing commercial building. So I know how to do commercial buildings. That's why I was able to do $5 million. I know how to, but I don't know how to do a residential house construction.
The commercial way more expensive, so you jump straight to the commercial.
It's not more expensive, it's just bigger. I mean, it's big. It's a whole building. You can build I just never learned it. So people who learn, they say small things.
Yeah.
Typically, they don't grow up and say, I'm going to go do this big thing.
Right.
Because they're afraid. And so, but if you start off with the bigger thing and you learn that, then the other stuff below that would be like a piece of cake too. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying you're going to choose to learn something. Learn the harder of the two things, not the easier of the two. That'll be your floor.
What would you tell your 20-year-old self today?
What I tell my 20-year-old self, there's a lot of things I tell them. I have more kids. Yeah, I have more kids. Yeah.
The blessing of kids.
Should have 8 or 10 kids. You can figure it out. We always seem to think that it's never the right time to have kids. And, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like everything else in life. So you're trying to do the right thing. You think you're being responsible.
Mm.
And I think later on when you get to life, for less that you are irresponsible.
Thanks for watching. If you like this type of content, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below. If you want to support this channel, consider subscribing for more free content just like this.